OG, if you heard, I told us all cap. I'm the realest.
Yo, you just don't get labeled the motherfucking snitch in the motherfucking hood for nothing. It's the #1 violation. If I gotta cut some of your motherfucking fingers off, I will.
Well, go ahead and cut them all off, because I'm not gonna sit here and lie on myself.
Yo, Sway, bring that motherfucking saw blade right here. This right here, she gonna learn today.
Hello everybody, how you doing? This is Marge from Spinnerack. I'm here with my boy,
PD, what's up?
Take. We're here with the director, Mykal Fax. Director, writer, screenwriter, performer, actor, anything else in the movie, he's done it. He's here to talk about his movie, Gangsta Court. In addition, we have the executive producer, Domina. So Mykal, what is Gangsta Court?
Gangsta Court is a strict but comedic TV series about outlaws of the ghettos who have to take their serious matters to an underground courtroom to be tried in front of the most feared and respected community gangster. And his name is OG Murder. So people are punished immediately after the verdict inside the courtroom.
How did you come about that? How did that come about?
Well, I was watching a movie, Goodfellas, and when they introduced the Don, which is Paulie, they said Paulie operated like a police precinct for wise guys.
Okay.
So when someone gets locked up, they have to see a judge and stuff. So my mind started working, and I was like, we should have an underground judicial system that represents, commemorates obedient outlaws. You know, because think about it. I was like, if I have a judicial system, an underground courtroom where these people are represented, it's like a new look. It's a new world. And, you know, that's what we do. We entertain people.
That's so cool. I like that.
So even though it's a comedy, it's also a great message. But then again, we don't want anybody establishing any gangster courts out there. So don't try that at home, please.
Well, then we need to know, how did you get into filmmaking? Where was your start?
I started because I had a Walmart camcorder. And it led me to do skits with my friends from school. So we would cut school and I would be the orchestrator. I'll be like, you gonna be the cop, you gonna be the bad guy. And I would just freestyle and we just do the craziest stuff in front of the cameras, and then we watch it back and laugh. And I was working in a barbershop, so I would bring it to the shop and play it for the whole barbershop to watch, and people would say, you need to take this seriously, man. You know? And then years later, I just got into a creative zone. I started writing a Coming to America story about a Jamaican guy coming to America for the first time. And it was a comedy, and me and my schoolmate from Tilden High School, we did that film. Yeah, big up Tilden.
Big up Tilden.
And when we put it out on DVDs, it got bootlegged within the second week.
Wow.
And I got a phone call from England. My cousin was like, yo, I saw you in a movie.
Get out of here. Wow.
Yeah, so that's how the whole journey started.
Oh my
Well,
goodness.
side note, when they called you, and it was probably, was that a bootleg copy?
Yes, it was.
Did you complain? Did you get upset with them and say, hey, you need to pay for that?
It was a blessing and a curse because I would have loved the money. But the fact that I didn't go to film school and I'm being respected as a filmmaker, that was the blessing.
Are you totally self-taught as far as filmmaker and writing and script writer?
At first I was just a well-read autodidact, but the further I kept doing movies, then I was formally trained, you know, as an actor in Stanislavski method acting. And then I did a few courses on filmmaking.
What movies did you like? What influenced you?
The first thing that influenced me was the TV show In Living Color and Saturday Night Live. Because when I had the camcorder, when I was doing skits with my friends, it was those two TV series that really put the spark in me. But then, as far as movies goes, Boys in the Hood was the first movie that really spoke to me because I had a bunch of friends coming up and we was running the streets. And so I was like, I would never want to be Ricky, man. I don't want to end up like Ricky. So you know what? Let me try to tell these kids out here, you know, some messages. Just like how Boyz II Men spoke to my soul, you know, I made it my duty not to end up like Ricky. So every time I was in a situation where my friends was like, yo, let's go fight these dudes over there, I'm like, yo, listen, leave it alone, man, because I don't want to be ending up like Ricky.
Well, what about books that influenced you? I mean, I've seen you read a lot, so tell me about some of the things that influenced you in terms of, you know, your career, in terms of
Well, as I said, I started out educating myself on the whole filmmaking process. So in terms of writing, you know, because you know the blueprint is what starts off everything. So The Art of Dramatic Writing by Legros Igri was the first book that really spoke to me in terms of directing me into developing my writing craft. And then I read Story by Robert McKee, which was also a major spark of fire that taught me writing formally.
wow.
You know, and as far as filmmaking, I would say Konstantin Stanislavski, you know, really sparked something in me as well.
Interesting. Wow.
Yeah. So with that, how many projects have you done so far?
7. Well, Foreign was the movie I started with. Then I did
Okay.
Bashment and The Roman Lion, Running Time.
Wow.
I did Jamaican Mafia. I did Informer. You know, so these are the films that paved the way for me.
I mean, and I want to tell the audience, I mean, this guy studying the fact that he has, you know, he's trying to learn his craft, he's taking courses. This is impressive. And he has a catalog, not one or two, a catalog of stuff there. So we are truly impressed by what you've done here. Let's talk a little bit more about Gangsta Court, you know. What was your experience shooting Gangsta Court?
Shooting Gangsta Court was a different experience for me because I normally do films. And I did one theater project. I wanted to shoot Gangsta Court like how I did theater, you know, to have like one continuous flow, everybody flowing continuously without stopping to cut. But I wasn't able to do that right through because the actors wasn't flowing with their lines. Instead of wasting all that time, I was like, you know what, let me just start cutting and keep it moving.
Domina, could you talk about pre-production a little?
I was excited to do it, you know, though I loved the concept from the beginning. I was very supportive with Mike. I saw the entire concept, I visualized it. I even gave ideas to, you know, because we both had passion for the project and believed in it. So we just wanted the team to also be as passionate. And everybody loved the concept, so I'm happy with it.
So, and also the set, because we were there for the first day. So we got to see the set on the first day. It was at nighttime, and it was, you know, pretty done up for, you know, and I've been on different sets as far as school and for, you know, outside of school, and it was like very developed. So can you talk about that and how long it took?
So before the day that we started filming, it was, I would believe, like a couple of weeks of prep, getting the set prepped, cleaned, and ready, preparing all the graphic work on set. I did some of it. We had hired other people to do the rest, and then me and Mike put everything up, you know, moved things around, got it right, made it look like a hood courtroom, you know. Mike didn't even know I can do all that. It was like, I said, oh, you need someone for that? I can do it. And he's like, he didn't believe me. He's like, you could do that? And I'm like, yeah. I gave him a heart attack till the very end because I have a unique way of doing art. I've been drawing for years. And it was to the point that as a kid, my teachers didn't even believe I drew things because I was advanced. And he's like, are you sure you know how to do this? Are you sure? I say, yes, I could do it. I'm doing the sketch work before the paint job. Until he saw the paint, he was freaking out the whole time. And then he's like, oh my goodness, you could do that. And I'm like, yes, chill, I got it. But it's like the same thing with him. Like, he became a whole nother person on set that I never saw, and so did I. Like, you know, it was a good partnership.
So, Mykal, what was pre-production for you? I mean, how was that? And seeing someone say your words while they're coming up to the casting, how was that?
We enjoyed it a lot, man, watching back all the tapes with everyone saying the lines. Some people was awful, you know? And I'm like, wow, this guy really thought he could have played a gangster. When you hear people say the words that you scripted, especially when that person fits the character, it's a wonderful experience. I remember in the past, you know, seeing people come in and say one line, and I whispered to my assistant producer, that's him. You know, it's always a miraculous thing.
The one thing, though, it was honest. We really went through those tapes together for hours, for days, and we're even at odds with each other. Like, I really like this person, or I really like this person. Taking like tallies on people sometimes because we did have a lot of great talent. So that was one thing we had a lot of.
Well, since we went to casting, what about the judge? Let's talk about the actor.
I started thinking about the casting. I was like, I need someone with a famous face that you know, a lot of people know, someone to bring the project, someone that could get actors excited to be a part of the whole show, you know? And if you're gonna have someone sitting there grilling everybody, you want that person to be someone that people are familiar with.
Right.
So Miko Gattuso, you know, he was on the Euphoria HBO show, you know, so like when I met with him and he fell in love with the project, it was perfect because, you know, he got these crazy tattoos in his face too. And I'm like, yeah, he would be the perfect OG gangster because he has the age, he has the look, and the full appeal.
He embodied everything that all our uptown people embody, and they love it. And we've heard even now from some of the cast that, this place and that place, we have fans just waiting for this series to come out. They're excited about it. They feel represented because some people they don't live the lifestyle that they could call the cops. They live a lifestyle where they got to take care of whatever happened that went left or go to somebody in their circle. So this is like exciting for them, this whole concept. It's like some of them wish it was real, you know? So I liked him for this for sure. I like that he represents the Bronx, you know?
Right.
Shout out to the Bronx.
Well, I got a side question because you kind of put a wedge through this thing. You brought up the Bronx.
Yeah.
We got some Brooklyn brothers right
Hey,
here.
I'm not mad at Brooklyn.
Now, I have some cool people from the Bronx, and now you're trying to draw the wedge, and I'm just kidding.
that brings me to something. Mykal, you know, where did you go to school from?
I went to school in Brooklyn. I went to Tilden High School.
Yes. We have 3 people from Tilden right here.
Yeah, and when I first started living in Brooklyn, I went to Winthrop Junior High School too.
That's right.
go.
Shout out to Winthrop.
So what was how many total production days did you have on it?
I can't say the days, but I could tell you that it took us 3 months to get it done.
Was there any point where you felt you might not finish, or was always the goal, you could always see the end of the goal?
There's always points where you feel like it might not be completed, but that's one of my strengths.
I know one of the things I love about Mykal and you guys in the project was that, you know, no matter what the adversity, Mykal always had, this is where we're going. This is where we're going. This is what we got to do. You never let that go, no matter what, right? I mean, so you had all these challenges that came, both of you, and you say, we have a goal that we want to do. So do you want to speak on that? Like, how did you have that fortitude to say, no matter what, I got to get it done?
Yes, it's very challenging, but to me, the main thing about getting any project done is putting your ego aside. And a lot of times when people contest me and actors start feeling themselves and they don't want to listen and they want to tell you what to do and stuff like that. You know, it's always a situation where you just gotta put ego aside and basically communicate with whoever is trying to cause a problem. And once you don't give them back that same energy, it works out.
He didn't look like it on set, but I know there was times he'd be whispering to me, fix it, fix it. You know, I'm like, I got it. You know, like I'm trying not to stress him, because if you stress the director, it shows like he got to be focused on this project, and I'm there like running around. You heard me a lot, mumbling, cursing, everything. I went to him for a lot of my venting. I'm
man.
like you were a savior too. We have to shout out Mars over here,
was our
because
savior.
he saved me from blowing up. A lot of times he's like, it's okay. What do you need? I got it.
Bless you, Mars.
Yeah, so that's why it's a team effort. If your team's not strong, you don't have a good team. You got to change your team.
So I'd like to ask, and I don't want you to give away any story elements, but was the stories that you wrote inspired by real life?
A lot of times, life, art imitate life, right? So when I see things on a daily basis, I take notes. So sometimes it might not even be one situation, but a combination of a lot of different things. Yeah, but I'm always keeping my ears to the ground, you know, in terms of coming up with different ideas, you know, because that's creativity, man, like connecting everything.
So when you got to the end, how did you feel when the production was done?
My only worries was a few scenes. I wasn't sure if we had enough angles and we had all the artillery that we needed to make the scenes really work. That was the only worries. But when I saw the first draft of each episode, the great PD sent me stuff, and then I realized that yes, everything was working. You know, it was a great feeling to know that, you know, we executed.
PD, you did your thing with that, because there was being there in real time with some situations. You made a lot of people look a million times better because of the editing. You know, a lot of people don't know editing. It takes long periods of time. Me and you have had discussions about it, and it's tedious to sit there for hours and do it. So we really appreciate your help with that. And you did really great. I loved it, the quality, everything. Hire PD.
What's the other thing I wanted to say about it? It was interesting because usually sometimes I would send all of the footage back to Mykal. I would send it all back with time code, and like I've been in edits where sometimes if they were looking for something, they might go through it, but the directors, the creatives, art directors, they never look through that stuff. And I've seen only a couple, and like early on, I've seen someone do a paper edit, and usually, and then find out where the edit is after that. And you did a paper edit where you listed all the shots that you like. So it was like I did my first cut, then you would send me the paper edit, and then we redid it and we kind of found something. So it's when I first worked, it was like I got this creative thing I did, and they were like, no, I gotta throw all that out for this. But
No.
it was much better. It's much better having the paper edit because you can get to see all the shots.
Right.
You've experienced all that, and a lot of times because I've seen it with some of the editors I work with, like they have it and it's like it looks great, but then as the director comes in, there's always pieces that even the editor is supposed to cut, but you're not always supposed to cut. There's always something that the director can pull in. So it was always very helpful, but it was very interesting that people never look at that stuff. I was like doing it as a courtesy. He's like, he's doing it. He's actually doing it. So at the same time, all right, let's go back to this. And then we kind of, by the third one, the paper editor would come in, and then I'd find my ways to add the stuff I wanted to add in. Not to say there was that much, but it's like you always want to see what you can try to get through. So I like this thing. Let's see if he likes it. Okay, he liked that. All right, that's great. He liked that's good.
I was probably more of a pain than Mike with that because I'm so picky.
No, that's what you're supposed to do.
But he's very serious. This is why I say like it's about your passion because one thing I'll tell you, he's very serious about this. And like if he would come to me or send it to me and say, oh, look at the edit and what do you think? And like he was very good with the teamwork aspect of asking like, what is your opinion? What do you like? And we made sure this was the best it could be. And I think that worked well with us because whenever we work together, whatever my weakness is, he's strong in, and vice versa. And he loved that I could manage set, and that was the whole point, was so he can focus on directing and dealing with the project, and then me organize set. And everyone who we worked with, our regular actors and actresses, were really good with. I didn't even have to really say anything. They kind of knew, but I was like, I'm sorry I'm repeating this, but let me say it for everyone who doesn't know. And and it became really fun in that way that everyone helped each other with their strengths, so I liked that.
What was your favorite moment on set or on the movie, either one of you?
Oh my God, when Henchman fired the gun for the first time, everybody was shook up, man.
Yeah, they thought it was real.
They thought it was a real gun because
They did.
it was like 3 o'clock in the morning, and then some people wasn't following the script, so Henchman just randomly came and went BOMB! And then everybody was like, oh.
People were running.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
then and
they
then
were running.
Alec Baldwin killed someone on a movie set a few weeks before that.
right,
So they were like, hey, is this real or what?
Yeah.
And trust me, that was the most memorable scene to me, man, when he fired the gun for the first, because it was an AK.
Wow.
And he's like, order in the court, blah! And let me tell you, man, everybody was shook up, man.
Same for you, Domina?
Oh, okay. So there's so many, but when I was handling the props and the blood and all of that, the special effects, when I would have to get some of them prepared, I don't think some of them realized they'd be having all this fake blood on them. So I'm like, the more that we had to retake, they're like, you're shooting me again? I'm like, I have to shoot you again. Hold on, I gotta get the blood ready. And like, I have to put the wires on underneath, and one of the actors had a specific shot. I don't wanna kill anything, but he took it like a champ. He's like, you have to shoot me again? I'm like, yes, we gotta get it right. He's like, okay, and he was the best. Like, and then there was another actress who I had to pour liquids on her too, and she took it gracefully. So, that was funny for me to like have to be shooting them. and I'm like hiding behind everything, and you don't see me, and as tall as I am.
We got to where you wanted to go. What accolades have you gotten so far for Gangsta Court?
So far, we won Best Comedy in the Hip Hop Film Festival.
There we go.
And we were picked up with the Big Apple Film Festival as well. And I'm very proud when I realized that Big Apple, on the day of the Gangsta Court screening, we had a 92% white audience, and they enjoyed every bit of Gangsta Court.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because one of the things I strive for is diversity. And I didn't make Gangsta Court just for one demographic of people. I made it with the intention that everyone can enjoy. And even though we didn't win the award for Best Comedy at the Big Apple Film Festival, the film that won deserved it.
Yeah.
But we still have a few people that was in that audience that thought that we deserved it. And we're happy about it, you know, to know that the films that we were up against, a lot of them were, that their budget was way ahead of ours. And we did great, man. And I'm just telling you, man, the world is gonna love Gangsta Court. When it comes out, you guys are gonna see it. And I hope that you guys remember me telling you this right now. You're gonna laugh your butt off.
One thing I know, that seeing this whole process, it just makes me really appreciate how much work, time, dedication, and passion it takes all of you guys to do this. Because I look at it, I'm like, oh my gosh. I don't know. That's a lot. But, you know, I got to say congratulations.
Yeah.
It looks fantastic.
Congrats.
And I hope continued success. Before we
Yes.
go, I want to ask you, you got to shout out your socials or whatever, so people will know where they can come and see what you have and when you can see it. Not when you can see it, but you know what, you know, if they ever want to
Yeah, when they have more information
more
on it.
information on it. Okay.
Yes. So we're on Instagram. Gangster, GANGSTA _ court, COURT at Instagram. And you can follow us there. We have all our updates on the Instagram page. Okay, our website is coming soon.
And anybody who's interested in working with us or providing any funding for future projects, you can email us at gangstacourtseries@gmail.com.
Thank you. Well, thank you guys for coming here. We appreciate
Yes.
it. We're glad that you're showing it to our audience, and hopefully, you know, people are going to come out and watch your show and support you guys with the support that you guys deserve. Okay.
Yes, thank you guys too.
Thank you for saying that too.
Well, Spinnerack,
Is out.
is there anything you guys wanted to say before we go? Any particular story or
Okay.
you want to discuss?
I just want to leave by saying this, you know, to all the upcoming filmmakers and everyone that's doing something productive in our community. So, this is the thing about life. It's like school with one key difference. In school, they give you the lesson first, and then you get the test. But in life, you get the test, and it's your job to take the lesson.